Personally, I don't prefer NTS. I don't know what the hype is in
Personal
our
preferences, guys.
personal preferences do not come from me. I do not prefer NTS at all.
He's a white man.
Mm-hmm.
He's right wing.
Mm-hmm.
He's sexist, and he's also homophobic.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can put the intro music there.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll cut that.
Cut.
Hi guys.
Welcome to our podcast.
On the pod.
This is Megha,
And this is Nikita.
and we're on the pod.
That's
Are we
right.
on the pod?
Are we in the pod?
Uh,
We're on the pod.
we're on the pod.
Alright.
Today we want to talk about third spaces and how they relate to us and what they actually are.
Right. So, starting with the concept of third spaces. So, third space is a concept that was coined by a psychologist, an American psychologist, Ray Oldenburg, in his book, The Great Good Place. So, this term was coined in the 1980s, and until then, the concept of third spaces wasn't necessarily disappearing. It was just simply talked about. But I guess now because of few reasons, which we'll be discussing in today's episode, um, third spaces have been disappearing these days.
I want to start with the author, you say,
Mhm.
Ray Goldenberg,
Mhm.
and
Ray Oldenburg.
Oldenburg,
Yeah.
and who he actually is.
Right.
He's a white man.
Mm-hmm.
He's right wing.
Mm-hmm.
He's sexist, and he's also homophobic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and for a person like this, he's not relatable to a lot of people in the
Indian context.
Indian context,
Correct.
and even women or anyone from the LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to go into the reason why he wrote this book. So the reason he wrote this book is he lived in suburban Florida for most of his life, and when he was staying there, he felt like there was no place he could go to discuss his right wing philosophy. He needed a space where he could do what he wanted to do, find like minded people he wanted to find. But there was no such space in suburban Florida where everyone just kept to themselves, my work, my life, my house, my backyard,
Right.
right? And he talks about like how it can be incorporated in an urban setting. So he considers mostly coffee bars, regular bars,
Mm-hmm.
and even community spaces and libraries, community centers.
Mhm.
These are the kind of spaces he considers as third spaces.
Right.
And the reason for this is that he says these spaces have the quality where you can sit down and have a long chat. Now, my question comes, how does this relate to an Indian context?
Right. First to define what we consider third place is, right? So, the place where we stay, the residential, our home, is the primary, the first place. Second place would be our workplace, or in our case, our college. And the third place here would be like whatever you had suggested, community centers, libraries, and all of that. So I think even in India, to a certain extent, um, I could be right or I could be wrong. There has been a decline in the usage of these spaces. The spaces are still there, but maybe these spaces being used as a discussion place, I think that is on a decline rather than the decline of the physical place. So we know that there are more cafes here. There's enough community centers.
In the recent years, it has started
Exactly.
picking up. Yeah.
Right. But maybe these being used as a discussion space rather than what do you say, a commercial space, right?
what I like about this concept is it has been a concept since the almost the beginning of civilization, where verbal communication had started.
Mhm.
So in the Greeks, if you look, there's the concept of the stoa, where people come and just discuss the things of the day, the politics, philosophy, and it has become like even in modern day people idolize and romanticize the stoa so much.
Right.
Then another round of idealization and romanticization happens during the industrial revolution, where coffee houses and poetry houses become the romantic norm. Sitting at a coffee house and you know the how the Dead Poets Society and all this, all that starts romanticizing literature, knowledge, and the discussion of knowledge.
Mhm.
And when you come to an Indian context, I think the like if you look at it, you look at this a tea stall.
Hmm.
How does a tea stall work?
A bunch of old men come there. They have their little chai.
And they're standing.
Right.
They're all standing around this one person making tea.
Right.
It works. It's quick. It's easy, but it's like a snap, snap, snap. It's done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I like is Cafe Coffee Day.
CCD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Cafe Coffee Day started, the slogan was "Sit down, come sit with us." Right? They introduced and tries to familiarize the affluent youth. I want to say. To come sit down and use this space as a third space. So they're one of the first people to say we have a space that you can use as a third space.
Right.
And then I want to say, what about the rest of the people?
Mm-hmm.
So do we consider parks as a third space? Because we have elderly people going for walks and sitting in parks and having discussion. Do we still consider that a third space, or is third space a concept that is restricted to youth?
Not necessarily. I mean, in that case, are these tea stalls? We never see women standing, having tea, and having a conversation with their friends at these tea stalls. It's primarily middle-aged to old men that occupy these spaces. Um, Now, coming down to the reasons as to why we think that these such places are declining, um, I think the pandemic might have had a reason in why people don't want to go out.
I think the pandemic almost caused a realization for the need of these spaces.
Yeah.
And since you mentioned women, I want to bring up the point of kitty parties.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's such a fascinating concept, isn't it? Because the men are go out, work, and then it's their snack break. That is this
Mm-hmm.
coffee discussion space.
Mm-hmm.
But is gossip also a discussion? Are kitty parties also a discussion? It's interesting, right?
I like to consider it
Yeah.
a relevant discussion.
That's the exciting thing about a kitty party, right? It's so interesting because it's just aunties saying, "Oh my god, did you hear where they went? Are they going abroad? Oh my god, they're dating each other. Scandalous, right?"
Right.
And it's so interesting to see how female spaces and male spaces have different kinds of discussion and quality. But there's one thing in common: it's food, drinks. There's something going on there that's like pulling you together. So in our college only, if you look, how much discussion happens in the canteen, how much gossip happens in a canteen, versus how much gossip happens like in
In
the courtyard
studios,
or
huh.
a studio,
Right.
right? Because canteen, the food brings a casual element to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like no pressure. You just hang out, say whatever you want. But there's so many intelligent conversations that I've had in the canteen as well.
Right.
So, but like, I want to bring this question: can a space within a college or a workspace feel like a third space? Because even in office spaces, there's this concept of a cafeteria.
Right.
And talking about Cafe Coffee Day, bringing it again, Cafe Coffee Day actually has like sells 75% of the vending machines for office cafeterias.
Right.
A funny tie-up.
But okay, for the question we had asked, right? Can the third space be within the realm of the second space? College, office spaces, these are considered as second spaces. So third space would ideally be in a setting where we're not dealing with work or we're not at home.
So is it almost a detachment from this work, or is it just a, you know, do you consider it a small break? Because if you're considering it a small break, you could still consider something like the cafeteria, third space.
If yeah, what is
Cafeteria as such.
cafeteria? Um, I lost track of thoughts. Where should we pick up from?
Now say something.
I know.
Are we considering cafeteria space as a third space if it's a small break? Or are we considering third space a space for complete disassociation from your daily life?
I think the second option would make more sense. Now, if we're looking
No, I
at
said that as the first option before you.
to disagree. but, but if we're considering it to be a small break from college or office, then we can't really say that what third space started declining. Because then anything can be a third space. If you're gossip in the bathroom stall, that can be a third space. But there's no idea of food coming in there, or it's
Is food necessary as an idea? It's just a common element I observed. But is food necessary for a third space? So now take a community center or like a gathering space in front of a library or something.
Mhm.
Is that considered a third space? Because according to this Oldenburg, it's considered a third space because it promotes that discussion. That's the quality he's looking at. Food is like an additive quality to this space that will entice you to stay longer. It's not like a must.
true.
So is it small break or is it a dissociation from this concept?
Hmm. My answer it, I don't know, solid answer. It's up for discussion.
Girl, you're supposed to have an opinion.
Oh, but
What is your opinion?
okay. So I think having a separate or like a separate space as a third space, which is fully dissociated from what's considered as the first place and the second place, would be more ideal, because how much of your personal life can you talk within college,
Okay, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How much of gossip can be spewed without it being
Yeah.
a risk of being overheard by certain faculty?
Yeah. I see your point because the concept of the walls have ears.
Exactly. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, there's someone listening everywhere.
Mhm.
You make fun of someone else already knows
Yeah.
what's going on, and the rumor mill just runs after that
Exactly. And some discussions you simply cannot have it
in college.
in college.
And also, if you're bringing the political aspect into this, you can't have controversial discussions in a space that is, how do you say, neutral.
Exactly.
You need to have a space that can accommodate the chaos
Right.
of that kind of a discussion.
Right. So, do you think there are certain physical attributes of a space or qualities of a space that can encourage such discussions? Where I'm trying to direct is, how much of a role does architecture play in building these kind of spaces?
Okay, I didn't want to bring architecture in, but if you're really bringing in architecture, I want to say how much the imagine there's a cafe space and there's this whole movement of reclaiming urban space, right?
Mhm.
And they sprawl out onto the streets,
Mhm.
and how much of discussion do you actually see happening on these sprawled out streets, right? Because it's nice effort
Mhm.
to have this kind of urban, like, you know be more centered towards a walking city, but it feels
Right.
very sterile.
Mhm.
I feel like it's more organic. Okay, when let's take our personal example of a third space.
Mm.
So we have a juice shop that's near the park near our college,
Right.
and we go there after college. It's like, you want juice? We're down,
Yeah.
and we go there. And so initially when it started, it was, I think, last summer.
Yeah.
So it was, the timing was perfect. It was a hot day. We needed something to cool down, and the requirement for that was met. And we go there, and it was like a six stools, and we sit there, and on those six stools we would have like discussions about faculty, discussions about, how am I going to finish this, discussions about what's happening at home, all kinds of discussions. And the juice uncle is not going to judge us because he doesn't know us personally. And I
Exactly.
feel like that element plays into it, a
Mhm.
judgment element.
Mm.
But also, it was the those six seats are what I take as the architectural takeaway, if you will.
Mhm.
That it's just those six seats mean so much more to me than a sprawled out urban space. Now I want to bring in what happened to the uh, juice stall now, and why we don't go there anymore. So the juice stall diversified to have a tea stall in the front, and that took away a lot of the space we could use to sit. And it felt like an awkward space where you were in between their business when you were
Right.
sitting there.
And previously, it would just be students from our college or just maybe families every now and then. But now there are working men that come for a cup of tea, so there's just more
Yeah.
people.
So it's that it felt like our space was invaded by the men of the tea stall territory.
Yeah, exactly. Um, NTS is also another example. But personally, I don't prefer NTS. I don't know what the hype is in
Personal
our
preferences, guys.
personal preferences. Do not come for me. I do not prefer NTS at all. I don't know if it's the crowd there or
Yeah, there's also the element of comfort. How comfortable do you feel there? Which is why the classification happened as women kitty party,
Right.
men this space. So I think an interesting thing to note here is the community aspect here,
Mhm.
and the community spaces and comfort level, right?
Right.
So how can you like? It's not even a question of how can you. It's a what can you consider like this kind of a community space?
Is it just people of the same age range or the age
Yeah.
group? I don't know, people with similar interests.
I feel like it was much easier to meet people before than
Earlier,
it is
yeah.
now, and I think there is a almost sense of loneliness that ties into this want for a third space now. This, especially, I know we've talked about men, women, but if we're bringing it to the young adult, our generation, and we look at why there has been a sudden rise of this concept and the popularity for its need, it's because people are not feeling that need for community anywhere. It's not the need for community. They're not feeling the community element that they felt maybe in their childhood while they were playing with their friends in a park or something.
Right.
And can a park be considered a third space for kids, right? So as a kid, we had like those third spaces. You'd come home, you'd go out down to play with your friends, right? And that was a third space for us as a kid, even though it was within maybe a residential complex or maybe next to a residential complex, or it could just be a road. It was still a third space for a kid. It's also that the recent trend are the I'm going to say youth, not Gen Z. The recent trend the youth is going towards is nostalgia. The need, it felt like a better time, and I feel like people are reminiscing about the time pre-COVID, and I feel like a lot of us just grew up a lot during COVID, and we just can't accept that fact.
True.
And that's what makes us like want a third space.
Right.
So even if it happens inorganically, there's still that want for that socialization, that community, that we want to come down and play with me. That element of play, I feel, has been lost.
Yeah. I mean, personally, like even after this conversation, I'm still gonna go back and watch reels rather than play hide and seek. But I know for a fact that it's always fun while we play Mafia or Uh, Whenever we hang out as groups, whether it's playing games like Mafia or I don't know, tag,
Hmm.
it's always fun. But how much of it is practical, and how can we sort of encourage this in youth that just want to stay inside and watch reels, right?
It's not even an encouraging thing. How can we show it's possible? Because I feel like I think in the more school going crowd, people are staying with their parents. It's also like a thing with you need permission to go out,
Right.
right? And how can we keep, it's more like you need, so it's not how can we, it's, the quality of the space needs to be accessible,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if it needs to be close by. So if you're picking a third space, it needs to be somewhere you can like walk down with your friends and just be like. So like I said, it can just be the park where the kids are playing,
Right.
and a lot of aunties gossip there. It's a
True.
third space for them too.
That's
So
right.
a park is such a versatile space as a third space also.
Mhm. You brought up permissions.
Ah.
And I mean, don't you think it's crazy how so we've seen this in shows like Stranger Things. Have you seen Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Right. So in Stranger Things, kids just take their bicycles and just go out, and they come back home at odd timings, and the parents don't question it. So
Yeah.
I feel like the factor of safety, today's parents, I mean,
They're overprotective.
they're extreme, and
And personally, my parents were overprotective.
yeah,
They didn't let me go outside the apartment complex level of overprotective. And it was a lot of, stay inside, you can hang out. We have this at home.
yeah, exactly.
I think in the Indian context, or even in our context,
Mhm.
in our context, it plays out that this was a factor that defined what third spaces could be as a kid.
Safety.
Yeah. So, what about third space as a digital space? Can a third space, can a digital website be a third space? Because I've seen a lot of resurgence of people saying, let's make the internet fun again.
Hmm.
And internet friends. I feel like that's a concept also we haven't considered.
Yeah.
And Discord as a forum. There's Reddit, right? There's all these spaces where discussion happen. Is the future of a third space going to be a physical space, or is it just someplace online where you express your thoughts and conversation? So that's why I felt like third space was kind of like a, you can you can come out of this and then you can see what else is there to your life outside of work, school, and whatever's happening at home.
But don't you think it's necessary to have some amount of discussion, like in person, that real life
That's
connection?
what I'm saying. Do you think the digital space can provide that? Because when we were discussing this, Raghu had brought up the point of Omegle.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that in-personness is addressed by a platform like Omegle? And I don't want you to go into the risk factors of Omegle because we know.
Yeah.
But what if there was a safer alternative to that?
Maybe that could be a starting point, and then later on, people could meet in person and have real life discussions. But for those discussions to happen, I think that's where the physical need of a third space comes into play. I think we can agree that there's a certain overlap between first, second, and third places, and it's a little difficult to detach.
Blurry boundaries.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now we want you to go back, think about all the third spaces in your life, think about all the possibilities of third space, all the possibilities of people you can meet. Go interact, go find people.
That's
Because
right.
it's a great concept. And
Yeah.
we're all feeling that loneliness. Let's try as a group to eliminate it as much as possible.
Go make some friends, y'all.
Go make some friends.
Yeah. Bye.
Megha's thoughts are loading. Please wait 1 second.
Sorry, guys. Doing good.
Buffering.
Okay. Wanna come through?
You didn't conclude your thought. You were thinking something and
Yeah, I
you
was.
didn't finish that thought. Because, you know, before the question was, how do I find... Oops. Back. You can bring into real life and you can have that interaction. Raghu, it fell.